Your Excellency, the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our father, Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on NDDC, Senator Asukwo Ekpeyong, other senators who are in company of His Excellency the Senate President, especially those from the region, members of the National Assembly, the Chairman of the Governing Board of NDDC, the EDs, and other members of ethnic nationality leaders, youth leaders, women leaders of the Niger Delta, the coordinator of the Amnesty Program. Let me specially recognize my sister, Alhaji Mujadid Asari Dokobo. Let me also recognize Chief Ayiri Imami and some other leaders who are also here from the Niger Delta. I can see past leaders who have actually struggled for social justice in the Niger Delta and are still struggling. However, most of these leaders are here today because they believe the struggle has gravitated from street struggle, protest, to intellectual struggle. And it is because they believe in the intellectual struggle part of the Niger Delta struggle, that is why they are here under this roof. They are here because they don't intend to be on the streets. They have been on the streets for so many years. And for all the years that they've been on the streets, it has brought joy and sorrow to the Niger Delta people. Some persons lost their lives. And the better part of it is that today we have NDDC, we have the Ministry of Niger Delta. The people of the Niger Delta even had the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today we have the Senate President. Today we have the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps. The people of the Niger Delta keep reaping from that struggle. That struggle, just like as I said, has also brought its own positives. However, as the people of the Niger Delta, we believe that there is no situation we cannot surmount. We have fought wars, and we know that in the face of economic hardship, we can still survive. The economic hardship that we are talking about today, yes, there are difficulties, there are issues, there are questions to be answered. But Nigeria as a federation, most of these hardships we are facing today were not actually orchestrated by the present administration. The present administration is trying its best to come out with policies and programs that will fix some of these economic difficulties. But what the government needs is just patience. There is nothing beautiful and gladdening to have a father that listens. We are blessed as a people to have a president who listens to people, a president who listens to Nigerians, a president that when Nigerians speak, he reacts. And that is why you can see that recently the president has approved the minimum wage, and the president has also approved that PMS crude oil should be sold to Dangote refinery in Naira. These are all things that people clamored for, and just in a way to fix the present hardship. Because when we talk about the difference between dollar and Naira, you understand that it has to border on crude oil production. Right now, our crude oil production is not at the level where we can match our own import cost, because crude oil production is still below 1,500 barrels per day. So with that, definitely we cannot meet up our own cost. The government is doing everything it can to ensure that most of these economic difficulties are being cushioned. As much as the government is also looking up to youths from the region, stakeholders from the region, to cooperate with the government to ensure that crude oil production increases for the country to benefit. We know that they have been cooperative. That is why the government is also willing to support us to help the government the more. If Niger Delta is happy, Nigeria is happy. If Niger Delta is prosperous, Nigeria will be prosperous. That is the power you and I have. And because we have that power, let us try to use that power in a positive way. That power is what gives us our own credit. That is what gives us our own stake in the federal government of Nigeria. This is the time we need to use that power to negotiate for development in the Niger Delta. And because we are here today for sensitization, it is not a day for too many speech making. It is to sensitize us. Because sometimes whatever the government does, if the people do not know, communication gap itself can bring about crisis. But for people of the Niger Delta, I trust my youths that I'm seeing. I trust my women that I'm seeing. That is why at every point in time, I am willing to come down to your level and relate with you at your level. You know, Mr. President has done very well for even making one of your own the MD of NDDC. I believe that is also a blessing to the youths of the Niger Delta. Mr. President did not only make one of you the MD of NDDC, Mr. President made one of you who was in the trenches struggling with you the MD of NDDC. Coming up with various stakeholders' engagements in a to you, because we believe you need to know what we are doing, because we are only managing the resources of NDDC, which is your patrimony, on your behalf. We are only here representing you, so we owe you that accountability. Having said that, I want to tell the people of the Niger Delta that because Mr. President loves the Niger Delta, I could remember my very first encounter with Mr. President when he became president. Immediately he saw me, Mr. President was very, very angry. He was angry because he was seeing the underdevelopment in the Niger Delta. And being the MD of the Niger Delta Development Commission, it was as if I was wearing the toga of underdevelopment, and it's as if maybe I was also wearing the toga of those who have oppressed the people of the Niger Delta. With that encounter, I told Mr. President that, Your Excellency, give me the opportunity, we can develop the Niger Delta together. And Mr. President assured me and said, I will give you that opportunity. And that opportunity is a moral burden I carry. And that opportunity is the same opportunity which our father, the Senate President, also alluded to and confirmed to Mr. President and told Mr. President that this young man, if given the opportunity, we trust him, he can deliver. And that is why in everything we do, the Senate President wants to be present, because he wants to show that support from now till the end of the tenure of this board. Because Mr. Senate President has also taken that undertaking before Mr. President, that he's going to support us to succeed. So if we fail, that means it rubs off on him too. But we know we are not going to fail. Together we are going to develop the Niger Delta. At least those of us who know the Senate President will know him as the uncommon developer. At least if you go to Akwa Ibom, you can see his touch in development. And that is why we always run to him to ensure that we take lessons from him on how we can also extend that development to the Niger Delta. We also have a minister who has also taken that same undertaking on our behalf, that he trusts the board and management. Hence, the minister himself has also given us that free hand to come up with programs and activities that will bring about development in the Niger Delta. And he has given us all the support all the way. And the board chairman that is here and the board have also given us all the support. So I don't think we have any excuse or any reason to fail. But talking to the people of the Niger Delta, Mr. President, to show his love and commitment to the people of the Niger Delta, Mr. President, in the 2024 budget, personally incorporated things in the budget that will bring about the rapid development of the Niger Delta. To start with, Mr. President on his own, when we went to meet him to complain about the funding challenges on how to fund our budget, Mr. President directed that the NDDC should incorporate 1 trillion in the NDDC budget that will be borrowed to fund the budget to fund specific projects that have been long abandoned in the Niger Delta, because Mr. President has challenged us that he wants to commission legacy projects in the Niger Delta in the next 2 years. So I wonder, if the man does not love the Niger Delta, nobody will give you 1 trillion naira. And now, in order to support what Mr. President is doing, our father, the President of the Senate, judiciously and immediately, the fastest NDDC budget that has been passed, in 24 hours NDDC budget was passed. And because we also have the Deputy Speaker in the House of Reps, when the budget got to the House of Reps, the Deputy Speaker also played his role and the budget was passed immediately. Right now, both chambers have passed the budget of the NDDC, which is waiting the assent of Mr. President, and Mr. President is going to assent to that budget immediately. Last time I spoke with the chairman of the Senate Committee on NDDC, he told me that that budget is going to be in force not less than the month of August. So now the question is that what is in that budget that Mr. President has placed for the people of the Niger Delta, apart from the 1 trillion that is bringing in to fund projects that have been long abandoned. Imagine 1 trillion in this region. There will be jobs all over the place. Probably youth will be engaged in different sites. All these jobs that have been abandoned, those are the things Mr. President wants to complete. And these projects are going to cut across the 9 states of the region. Apart from that, Mr. President, we have in the budget the Public and Communal Infrastructure Renovation Scheme, which it is a scheme aimed at also empowering the youths of the Niger Delta and women. The whole idea is, we thought we don't just want to spoon feed the youths and women and entrepreneurs in the region. Let us teach them how to work. Some of them may not have the funding and finances to fund projects worth 100 billion, worth 200 billion. So let us start with renovation. And those renovations, we are going to break it down in different categories to ensure that we carry along the least person. If we are going to renovate this building, one person will probably be renovating the roof, one person will be doing the tiling, one person will be doing the windows, one person will be doing the electrical works, so that these jobs can go round everybody. That is what we have in the budget. Public and Communal Infrastructure Renovation Scheme. Then, for entrepreneurs, just to tell you, last week, Thursday specifically, we had a meeting with the Bank of Industry to consummate our partnership, because in the budget we are making available 30 billion naira, which will be a counterpart funding with Bank of Industry to support entrepreneurs in the region. That is also there. So for those who are entrepreneurs in agriculture, different form of entrepreneurship, you are going to be funded. We have that 30 billion, which is going to be a counterpart funding between we and the Bank of Industry. That was why we came up with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce. So it is going to go through a process through the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce so that anybody who is benefiting, you know it is not free money. It is money that you must also merit. You must also earn it. So gone are the days when people take money, portfolio businessmen take money, eat it, and think that it is free money. We want a situation whereby this money can also go round so that those who do not get this year can get next year. In the same budget, we have also made provisions for the Project Hope, which you know, and Project Hope, to announce to you, Project Hope was supposed to be launched today, but for the sake of this program, because Mr. President directed that we must go and talk to our people, we must sensitize our people. So we had to put out the Project Hope scheme. We're also supposed to have a board meeting tomorrow. We had to also suspend all that just to ensure that we engage you people, to let you people understand that the federal government of Nigeria means well for you. If other part of Nigeria, anybody's protesting, I don't see any reason why we should protest. Let us wait to see why these things should not be implemented. Because the best way of saying we need more is to say thank you. And the only way we can say thank you is to ensure that we see through the implementation of these programs. And standing before you, as being one of you, I'm also assuring you and guaranteeing you that all these programs are going to be implemented for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta. We are also carrying out our postgraduate MSc program, which recently I went to attend the graduation of some of our students in the UK. I just want to announce to you the success of that program, that 11 of our students in UK graduated with distinctions. And out of the 11 students that graduated with distinction, let me announce to the Niger Delta women that 9 of them are women and 2 of them are male. That is to tell you that our women are doing very well. And that means subsequently, we also have to look at increasing the quota of the women. Well, I want to leave the best for the last. And the best for the last is to let you know that we have in the budget something that I can say is a big deal for the youths and women of the Niger Delta. Because we know that in the face of economic difficulty, while we are going through this process, knowing that very soon we are going to come out of it, we cannot just leave you hanging like that. Because we have a government that has empathy, a government that has human face, a government that cares, and that is the kind of president we have, a president that listens. So because of that, I know that the President of the Senate is going to be the one to launch this program, but let me just give you a tip of the iceberg so that before His Excellency, the Senate President, is officially launching it and flagging it off, using the benefit of this program to let you know that we did not just gather here just to talk to you. Gathering here, there must be something that people must take home, because we must be talk now, do. So, for the benefit of doubt, make our talk, okay, calm down. Your Excellency, should I say it? Okay. Well, I haven't gotten the permission of His Excellency, our father that is here. Mr. President has graciously approved youth internship scheme for 10,000 youths in the Niger Delta to be paid 50,000 naira each every month. That is the first phase. That is the first phase. That is the first phase. And that scheme is taking off immediately. As we finish from this program, everybody will be communicated on how you benefit from your various local governments. Because everybody in the Niger Delta comes from a local government. But what I want to assure you is that it is not going to be politicized. It is going to be based on merit. That is why for those of you who have participated, we have to ensure that you register. And for the fact that you registered in this sensitization program, just know that you will also be considered first. So, having said that, sir, I just still want to use this opportunity to assure all of us that just the way you've given me the best of cooperation, the way you have trusted me since I emerged as Managing Director CEO of NDDC, that trust for me is the bond that I share with you people. And that bond, I can assure you that it is not going to be broken, because trust is reciprocal. For the fact that you've trusted me, I also trust you. And we are going to keep that trust, to extend that trust to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because right now, I am your representative on that side, to tell you that there are good things coming, to tell you that we shouldn't follow people that want to deceive us. There are people who have been in government forever, who believe that this government is not favoring them, that are trying to stoke fire for protest. We cannot join them. We cannot join them. We cannot join them. If we know we are not going to join them, let us stand up and say we cannot join them. Great Niger Delta people, great Niger Delta people, let us sit down, please. Now that this is an affirmation that we are not part of any protest that is being called by any group of persons who are bitter, who feel they are not being favored by this administration, let us focus on what will benefit us. I believe there is still more to come. And I believe Mr. President, who is a rewarder of loyalty, just the way he rewarded our father, the Senate President, for being loyal. Mr. President being a rewarder of loyalty, seeing the loyalty of the people of the Niger Delta, if other people are saying it is not their own, let us own the government. And let us make the government our own. When we make the government our own, they say, the fewer the merrier. So let us be few and let us eat more. So when all of them go one way, let us hold the government. And I believe in 4 years, we'll have many more things to rejoice about. So, having set the tone, you also listened to the communique that was read by the Director Legal NDDC. That was a communique that we, the people of the Niger Delta people, agreed upon during the stakeholder summit. People always believe that the Niger Delta people can never gather. People always believe that each time the Niger Delta people gather, they will always fight themselves. We had a very successful and peaceful summit where the who is who in the Niger Delta was present. It was all about conviviality and love. And at the end of the day, everybody went home safely. During that summit, the governor of Bayelsa State came and he attended that summit with pain. The pain of the status of the East-West Road that he spent 4 hours, even as a governor, before getting to Port Harcourt. That was a place where some persons were spending 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was a nightmare. And in that summit, the summit empowered the authorities to clear the gridlock. And as we are talking, for those of you who came from Bayelsa will attest to the fact that there is no more traffic there. That is a government that is working. That is a government that listens. That is a government that feels the pains of the people, because we took it upon ourselves to ensure that we cleared that traffic. Because we know what it costs the people of the Niger Delta if the East-West Road is blocked. And as I can tell you, with the supplementary budget that is being passed, Mr. President has made available funds through the Special Intervention Fund for the East-West Road to ensure that the East-West Road is completed. What we'll be doing for now will just be remedial work to maintain the place to ensure that we don't pass through the same pains anymore. That responsibility, NDDC have undertaken that responsibility, and we are doing it. That is why the place is passable now. That is the benefit of having one of your own. Because if you don't have one of your own, you feel the pains. But having one of your own, I feel the pains with you. And having one of your own, the Senate President is also calling every time, asking what is the status of the road. Because the Senate President was in attendance during the summit, and immediately got back to Abuja. The first thing he told me was, MD, please do whatever you can to ensure that that road is passable. Because I feel the pains of the people. I could feel the pulse of the governor when he was talking. And that is a leader who has the pain and empathy of the people. The Minister of Niger Delta kept calling me every day and asking for status report on that road, which I was sending him videos and the situation report of how the road was going. All of them were on my neck, and I was also visiting the site regularly until the road was cleared. All these things, I'm only just saying all this to let us understand how this government has empathy. It is a government that feels the pulse of the people. And for that reason, I want to beg all of us, since we have unanimously agreed that we are going to own this government, we are not going to be part of people who want to say this government should fall. We have agreed that the fewer, the merrier. If even people who come from the zone of the president, they say they want to protest, let us rather own the government. I will later probably advise Mr. President to move the capital to South-South if they don't want him in Abuja. But we know that the people of Nigeria love Mr. President, just the way we love him. It is just very few persons who are trying to orchestrate the crisis in Nigeria. We all know where these problems are coming from. We know that the president did not create these problems. His economic policies are policies that are going to work. They are policies that are sustainable, not policies that in the past people were subsidizing dollar, using naira to defend dollar. Those policies are not sustainable. Let us for once face the reality of our challenges and confront them. If dollar is 1,600, let us fight towards bringing it through production, through agriculture, through manufacturing, to ensure that the price of dollar crashes, but not through cosmetic economy where people use naira to subsidize dollar. That is not the economy that works. Mr. President believes in sustainability. On this note, I want to thank you very much and welcome you to this occasion, and prepare your mind while we listen from our father, who is also going to tell us more about the government. Thank you very much.